Hey guys, it's Callus back with more Callus Invitational 5 content, and this is Sunday Fun Day. This here is the first of many matches that are going to be today. Can't promise that all of them are going to be recorded and make it onto YouTube today, but I'm going to try my best. But certainly by tomorrow, Tuesday at the very, very latest, you should have all of them. But I'm really going to do my best. In the meantime, like I said, this is the first match of the day, and this one, according to you guys, is the most lopsided pairing of the round. It's Felix playing on his alt monthly girls against ABR, and you guys think that ABR is going to smack him around. ABR, of course, has his third place finish in Callous Invitational 3. This is the debut for Felix, who has been around the block, was picked for SPL last year, did well, had a good snake last year when that was still a thing. Overall, a very respected player, but maybe not as known for his ADV prowess. So here, he'll have an opportunity against a very good and very established player to show that he belongs in this tournament. As you guys know, in round one, we're still very much in the best of three stages. We're not going to see best of five for a long time. Let's get into this game, which is game one of the best of three. So, Felix, like I said, is on the bottom. He's monthly girls. ABR is on the top. We have a Milotic and a Mence, respectively, but an insta switch. Hypno there would have been really bad on Salamence, but it missed on Blissey instead. Already looking like either a physical offense or a balance, and now with the Swords Dance being shown on the B, it's almost certainly some kind of physical offense, and it'll have Baton Pass, which it does, and he passes that to his own meta growth. So we have meta on meta briefly. Goes for Meteor Mash, connects with Scarm. That was a good play to go for that as opposed to Earthquake into the other meta, knowing that an Earthquake immunity was likely to come in, which it did. Nevertheless, at +2, the Mash did a ton, and with a crit there, down goes the Scarm. So Thunderbolt and Earthquake now, 2-for-1 value happening from Felix. Really good start for him. ABR very behind, just 8 turns in. Felix, the underdog in this matchup, the guy that you guys all think is going to lose, is looking really ahead of ABR right now. Blissey, the obligatory switch on this team, it seems, into Milo. Don't want something else to get hit with Hypnosis here, especially when you're already down 2 pokes this early on. Now Meta comes in, and Blissey remains asleep, so a free opportunity to get an attack off here. Out she goes to her own meta, and it's going to be Explosion. We narrowly avoid our first nurse moment of the tournament by blowing up on meta as opposed to Blissey. However, the follow-up Magneton will magnet pull the meta, but Thunderbolt won't be good enough. And Earthquake takes that down, so ABR has caught himself up. Leaves us instead of a 6-4 in a 4-4 with an unrevealed in the back for both. Brick Break resisted and intimidated here as hard as Heracross hits, not against Immense. And there's a critical hit, Hidden Power, presumably flying. Milo safe, bar another crit, should just get another recover off and does. ABR doesn't even go for it, simply goes back to Blissey here. Hypnosis lands yet again. And we are back to equilibrium at 4-4 with an unrevealed in the back for both. Celebi sneaking in on the Sleeping Bliss. It may or may not have recovered. We know it has Dance and Baton Pass. Maybe, maybe not. It has things like Leech Seed, Recover, an actual attacking move. Hard to say. Going to be intimidated, and he's going to pass +1 just to Milotic, which obviously doesn't care about it. That was simply a pass to deal with the Mence. So again, Milotic going for Hypnosis at every opportunity, but ABR refuses to switch anything other than Blissey into the Milotic because getting something else slept would be really poor. Surf there, hoping that he'd switch, but he doesn't. Now Ice Beam hoping that he'd switch, specifically that he'd switch to Mence, but that doesn't happen either. And now Toxic comes down, which is actually really bad because this Milotic has shown its full set. It doesn't have Refresh. That Toxic is there to stay. Now it does trigger Marvel Scale, which is going to get him obviously a lot harder to kill, but the Toxic is going to sap him down pretty consistently. It's not a good thing. It's not as bad as it could be on some other pokes because of Marvel Scale, but you definitely don't want your Milotic poisoned. But you do see the big defense boost here. Hidden Powered is only 21% now. That's paltry. The Milotic is just behind an iron fortress known as Marvel Scale. But he can't keep it in for too long because of the Toxic, so we'll see what happens. We still haven't seen the last poke for either guy. Rock Slide has hit Mence twice, gotten some good chip damage off. See, if I'm ABR, I would stay in here and attack again. I would keep the pressure on the Milo, but he doesn't see it that way. Yeah, see, he would have had a free opportunity there to fish for a crit and to get more Toxic damage on the Milo. but he keeps going to the Bliss. He's very, very afraid of getting anything hit with Hypnosis. Now Toxic going to connect with Hera. That may or may not be a good thing. You might have just triggered Guts. We'll see. The Mence should nevertheless deter the Heracross, which we see does have lefties from staying in here. And out it goes to the Milotic. So 2 of the pokes for Felix, Monthly Girls, are suffering from poison here. He has retaken the lead, 4-3. Still don't know the last poke for either guy. Recover and S-Toss, respectively, sure. The Blissey should sit in on this all day. I mean, the Milotic is the one that's suffering from the poison, so might as well keep it going. Here we'll find out if Celebi has recovered or not. It should clearly do that here if he does have it. But he goes for Ancient Power, probably knowing that the Salamence was going to come in. But even though it's super effective, after the Intimidate, it does not do a lot. Just 26%, and he's going to get out of the way of the Mence. Last poke finally shown for ABR. Tyranitar makes sense to me. Doesn't want to beat the Heracross one-on-one. And there is the Brick Break attempt. Salamon's getting low from all the chip damage, and now with Sand finally in play, it won't be getting lefties back either. Hidden Power with a crit there for 43%. That's pretty good. Second Mence crit against the Milotic this game for ABR. And now Hypnosis, even through Marvel Scale, and by Hypnosis I mean Hidden Power, will be good enough. Leaves us in a 3-3 situation. Out it goes. And a dance on the switch, pretty bold. Didn't go for the Ancient Power. I'm surprised that ABR got out of the way there. I guess you could just go for Hidden Power, right? But I'm not sure that I understand the switch for ABR. I think you just click Hidden Power there. I guess he was worried about Felix doubling back to his last. That strikes me as unusual, but nevertheless, here we are. A very, very boosted Gyra in the back. 2 swords dances. Wow, but it still isn't enough to kill the Blissey. The Sand will finish it off, but man, I really thought that would have been a one-hit KO. It goes Earthquake as opposed to Hidden Power. That makes me think that maybe it's Hidden Power Rock. He finds Double Edge here, and as long as he's faster, Earthquake here will obviously be good enough. And indeed, the Gyra does outspeed the T-Tar. Felix, Monthly Girls, the guy that you think is going to get crushed by ABR, has taken Game 1 against ABR relatively safely. Nice little 3-0 here. And it puts him in a position where he needs to win one of Game 2 or potential Game 3 to take ABR out. And by out, I mean to the lower bracket, since it's double eliminate and is round 1. But it'd be a nice victory for a guy that you guys don't seem to have a lot of faith in. Let's see if he can pull it off. So here's Game 2. We'll switch the sides for the continuity. Felix, Monthly Girls on the bottom again. ABR top side again. Both of them with Zapdos. Thunderbolt from both, and ABR gets the better end. His hits harder and gets a lucky 10% para. So now Blissey comes out. Really bad start. There's the BP to Dugtrio. Blissey, pending a crit or a freeze, is very dead here. Beat Up does a bunch. And Soft Boiled the play. Gonna try to stall it out since there is no Sand in play here. Don't know how reliable of a plan this is, but it's a plan. Beat Up crits are going to happen. In fact, 2 of them happen here to really give you an idea of what we're up against. But hey, maybe this will work. Let's see. The base PP on Beat Up is exactly the same as Soft Boiled at 16. So, I mean, I'm surprised it doesn't go for it here. I was going to say, even if you don't kill the Bliss, you can at least run it out of Soft Boileds by doing this. But Felix gives up on it. I think I would have kept on chugging, but he's done with this shit. He's going to pull it back, and he's going to trade his Blissey for the opposing Dugtrio via his own Dugtrio after getting beat up a little bit. But against Doug, it obviously doesn't do that much. Dugtrio takes it just fine, and Dugtrio health, if there's not spikes down, is basically irrelevant anyway. So here we are in a 5-5 situation. Lots more of Felix's team revealed than ABR, but that'll probably change soon. T-Bolt, Ice Beam, respectively. He doesn't pass there because he's afraid of the T-Tar roaring, so he might as well attack before getting roared out. Might as well not miss that opportunity to do damage. Now Felix is going to go for an Ice Beam again into the Zapdos, but it's going to connect with Coon instead. We end up with Coon on Coon. Like I said, I feel like every game that I've narrated this tour has had a Suicune. I feel like it's been ridiculously popular in this tour for whatever reason, but a big crit at +1 for ABR. Hidden Power, Grass, or Electric connecting there and devastating the other Coon. Crit relevant there, obviously, and it allows him to follow up and kill the Coon, giving him a flat-out advantage here at 5-4. Felix falling behind. Surf there on meta. Double edge a lot, but not quite enough unless he double edges himself into Salic range, but that is not what happens. Usually with double edge sets, you've got either a Salic or a Lychee Berry, but for whatever reason, this one does not, and ABR's lead gets wider. Felix cuts into it a little bit, making it a 4-3, but ABR is still clearly in control of this game. Meta very low. There's Calm Mind. Even Psychic should be able to kill him from this low. But he goes for Giga Drain. Good enough. Down goes the meta. Leaves us now in a 2-4. Dugtrio going to have to get a one-hit KO here. Comes up very short. And Giga Drain obviously is going to kill that easily. Leaves us with only T-Tar for Felix against 4 from ABR. 2 of which are hidden. And Giga Drain not enough. Going to need a DD here. Does not have that. We're looking at a special Tar. Fire Blast miss irrelevant. This game very over. Little cough there. If it's not a DD Tar, this game done. And it was not. He's going to miss the Fire Blast, and that's going to be a pretty easy, pretty one-sided victory for ABR. So that's going to send us to a Game 3. Neither game super close. Middle of the first game, close-ish, but Felix won relatively comfortably, and ABR crushed him in this one. Not super close. 4-0, 2 hidden pokes. Not too much to say about this one. It's going to send us to a decisive Game 3. Always exciting. Get to the third game. 1 game for the win. Let's see who takes it home. Here's the game. For the third and final time, Felix, Monthly Girls on the bottom. ABR top side. Lax against Zapdos, and it's going to be a flat-out swing and a miss on a turn 1 frustration. Will-O-Wisp also going to miss for ABR, and now we have B on B. Calm Mind and Hidden Power Fire, giving him the business right out the gate, and ABR Calm Minding up along with him. But here's another Hidden Power Fire for 36%, and all ABR can do in exchange is go for another Calm Mind to hopefully keep him safe. He survives at 1%, and he's going to BP those boosts out to a Zapdos. So now we have double Calm Mind on both sides, Celebi and Zapdos respectively. Psychic pops the sub, BP to Rachi here. We know that the Celebi has Hidden Power Fire, and he's going to go straight for that. Rachi going to Calm Mind up as well. And now a Fire Punch coming down, which is obviously doing more damage here against the Celebi since he's more boosted until now. Now they're equal boosts. Fire Punch nevertheless stronger than Hidden Power Fire, and the Rachi seems to be faster here. Advantage seems to be with ABR, but remember, his Celebi is at 1%, so if Felix has something like this, a Dugtrio, it's actually Felix with the advantage here, because it's 5-5, but Celebi is dead to rights the next time that thing comes in. Another missed Will-O-Wisp for ABR, unfortunate for him. Leaves us, like I said, 5-on-5 situation, Gengar out of the way. Lax comes in, T-Bolt, all it's shown earlier was frustration. We know there's a Gengar on the other side, so maybe he overpredicts and goes Shadow Ball, but he does go frustration, and he gets a crit. ABR really looking behind in this game. Flat out 5-4 advantage for Felix, and there's a 1% Celebi on the other side. But ABR making the moves, doubles back to Dugtrio here and catches Rachi. Exactly the kind of play he needs to make to catch himself up in this game. Rewarded for his bold play. Leaves us now in a 4-4, but remember, again, the Celebi basically dead. There is no Sand in play, however, so maybe the Celebi has more than 0 use here. We end up with Coon on Lax. Gengar comes in, and he self-destructs into it. Felix here trying to throw this game, and now he gets his Kingdra blown on as well, which is going to get followed up with Dugtrio. This game was looking terrible for ABR, and now all of a sudden he's winning. Not sure what happened here. That's self-destruct. I mean, results-oriented, because if it connects with the Coon, you basically win the game on the spot, but it's an unnecessary risk, an unnecessary 50-50 turn as far as I'm concerned for Felix, blowing up into the Gengar. He's basically punting the game, and now I think Felix is going to lose, and I think, like I said, that one turn is the reason why. He needs his Coon to beat the opposing Coon, and, well, I guess it depends on the sets for both, but Felix has the much, much lower Coon right now, but neither player did bring T-Tar in this game, so he is leftying up. They are both going to the Boost Maximo, Boost Extremo here. Gonna have all the boosts for both of them, and then we're just gonna play the PP game, or fish for crits, or fish for freezes, or what have you, depending on the sets. If the best thing Felix can do is surf, that's not that promising, especially when there's hidden power on the other side. So advantage ABR, the faster Coon, or not even, it's a speed tie here. So yeah, it's just flat out advantage for ABR. Now granted, Felix has rest, ABR doesn't, but the critical hit mathematically is more likely to come than not, though he does have half the chances he would normally have thanks to pressure. So this basically comes down to, does he find the crit or not? And he's going to have a lot of opportunities to fish for it. Felix opting for the defensive plan, just rest and pray that the crit does not come. Yeah, I mean, not a lot to narrate at this point. Either the crit comes or it doesn't. Obviously, if Felix manages to avoid the crit and kill the other Coon, he will win this game. If the crit does come for ABR, he will win this game. It really is as simple as that. The crit either comes or it doesn't, so we sit and we wait and we see what happens. I wish there were more to narrate here. I wish there were more engaging gameplay at this moment, but it's just one of those situations. They are both locked into this line of play. There just isn't a lot you can do. We just have to wait and see if it comes or doesn't come. Substitute plus rest is going to stall a lot of PP for Felix, but ABR really does only need the one crit. And he's had a lot of opportunities. I haven't kept track, but it feels like he's attacked the Coon itself, not a sub, at least a dozen times at this point, maybe like 15 times or something like that. Another surf, does not pop the sub. And that gives Felix a little breathing room to finally fish for his own crit, but it doesn't come, which would be totally unfair if it did come. And now Ice Beam doesn't pop it either, so that's actually two separate attacks that ABR has unsuccessfully lunged into the sub. Finally, that one is going to pop it, but Felix knows that's coming, so he just makes another sub. Yeah, he's balls deep on the PP stall plan here, and with the sub, he has a decent shot to do that, but ABR just needs the one crit. This is going to be close. I mean, Felix can start attacking now. He's fishing for his own crit against a non-rest Coon with those surfs. If he gets it, he just wins on the spot. So we'll see. It's anybody's game here. I wish there were more skill to this part of the game, but it's all up to the RNGesus at this point. Checking on PP real quick. Yeah, I mean, the numbers that you're seeing on the screen are without accounting for pressure, so ABR's got to be getting low on attacking PP. The opportunity is starting to close. There's the crit, finally. And like I said, I mean, mathematically, that's supposed to come. I mean, he's attacked 20 times or whatever it is. That was supposed to happen. It's unfortunate then that it happened for Felix. Not against a substitute, because crits against a sub don't matter, but it was mathematically with all the times that ABR hit the opposing Coon dead on. It was supposed to come, so I mean, I don't feel like that was vicious hacks or, oh, ABR is so lucky. Like I said, what happened is what mathematically was supposed to happen there. So, wrapping it up, ABR wins the set 2-1, as you guys just saw. But talking more specifically about the set, obviously this last game could have gone either way. That's very clear. This late game Coon v. Coon situation really truly could have gone either way. ABR must have been getting very low on PP and in danger of being stalled out, and likewise Felix himself could have found a crit anytime that he attacked. ABR had attacked many, many more times than Felix, so mathematically he was that much more likely to find it. But it was obviously a really close late game situation. Going back a little further than that, I again wonder about that self-destruct turn with the lax. If the lax is at 20% at that time, I get it. But I think it was at like 60 or 63 or something. It was pretty healthy, and I don't know that it needed to self-destruct there. It was a high-risk, high-reward play. He tried to self-destruct into the Coon, and if he had been successful in doing that, I think he wins the game on the spot, so I get why he went for it, but you've got to respect that ABR is a good enough player to go to the Gengar on the self-destruct, and also, it doesn't even have to be playing around the self-destruct. ABR could have just switched to the Gengar playing around a frustration, which very well may have been the case. He very well may have just not liked the Lax v. Kuhn one-on-one, which makes a lot of sense because without Sand, Kuhn doesn't beat the Lax 1v1. It's a losing matchup anyway, even if they just go blow for blow. So, like, even if ABR wasn't thinking about self-destruct, it's still not a good matchup. It's not something he's incentivized to stay in on. So I think really the key turn of this game, this match, was that self-destruct. I can't help but think that was a mistake for Felix. It just, I don't think ABR stays in on that turn very often. I think going to the Gar is really common, even if you are just playing around frustration. And it is okay to click frustration there, which is what I think he probably should have done. But self-destructing there, it's so greedy and it's so narrow. I mean, yes, the upside, if you're right, is really, really high. He probably just wins the game on the spot if he does hit the Coon. So I get why he went for it, but I feel like Felix was in a pretty good position in this game and could have just won the game anyway had he not done that. I feel like the Lax was an issue for ABR, especially remembering that this whole time Celebi is at 1%. So even if it does have Leech Seed or whatever, it's not beating Lax. It's at 1%. So I think if Felix had just been a little more patient and kept the Lax healthy, I think he probably could have won this set. I think he has only himself to blame for losing this game 3. The whole set was close, and even though you guys were right with your prediction that ABR would win, clearly this could have gone either way. Felix jumped out to the game 1 lead and then clearly could have won this game, even with the way that it played out. But ultimately, I think he has only himself to blame. I think that self-destruct was bad and unnecessary, and had he just been a little more patient and continued to play the game, I don't know. I think I liked Felix's chances. But as we say in Pokemon, shoulda, woulda, coulda, all the hypotheticals, they don't matter. The only thing that does matter is the result. It is going to be ABR taking the win at the end of the day. Got to be in the upper bracket in the next round. Felix, in his debut, puts up a decent performance, but finds himself nevertheless in the lower bracket. Like I said, guys, there's going to be a lot of matches being played today. Going to do as much of them as I can. Hopefully you guys check out the next video. But in the meantime, if you've liked this video, please do leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. And I will see you guys in the next video.